Hi, this is Deanna Musgrave for Art is the Healer, and in this episode I'm going to be talking about a painting called Conversation with Emma Kunz that was first on display for a show called Channel, which showed at the Sussex Centre for Arts and Culture, and then later that year in 2019 showed for the Marianne McCain exhibit called Materiality and Perception in Contemporary Atlantic Art. And that was curated by Tom Smart. And there's a wonderful catalog that you can purchase. I'll put a link in the comments. And my artwork's actually on the cover, which I'm very thankful and have gratitude for. So this piece is very much about owning and coming into my work as an artist healer or artist and healing art practitioner. As I said in a previous video, Emma Kunz really helped me to find someone to model after my practice of being an artist, but also the process of my art being strongly informed by my work as a practitioner of healing arts. Emma Kunz herself, she did all these drawings, which she created through dowsing. I'm also a dowser. She created these really geometric, symmetrical drawings that she saw as means for healing. And the way that they would heal is that people would look at them and come into sort of a calm trance state. She also divined from them information that might assist. So not only did she have a lifelong practice of healing, but she also built this strong body of artwork. And I'm really interested in artist healers who do that. So this work was my first attempt to really connect with the energy of Emma Kunz. I see it as a conversation. And in that conversation, I really walked through her footsteps. I read the book, Emma Kunz, Artist, Researcher, Healer. I'll put a link in the comments to that book if you'd like to purchase it. I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite ones I have in my house. And in that book, it describes a rare instance of someone witnessing her making a drawing. And the way she did it was through dowsing. Now, when I say dowsing, most of you are probably thinking of the split wood, looking for water, and that is part of dowsing, but there's so much more involving pendulums. And it's a form of divination. And she would use her own pendulum, a really beautiful one made of jade and silver, and she would use it to kind of tell her where significant points were on the composition. She'd mark those, and then she'd draw lines toward them, and eventually would create this symmetrical drawing that she could talk for hours about that had a lot of depth to them. So I basically followed the exact same process, and I made a drawing called What Does Emma Kunz Want to Say? And what came out was a form that very much looks like her work. It's very symmetrical, has these sort of triangular wings, and the circular form at the top, sort of bird-like. And after I had the drawing, I had to think to myself, well, my work is very fluid and intuitive, whereas Emma Kunz is very symmetrical and very geometric. And so the painting is really a meeting of those two polarities, and all my work is about trying to find confluence within polarity. And so the shape was replicated onto the painting, but when you look at it closely, some of the symmetrical forms start to break apart. They almost become like strings flowing into the cloud-like forms. And then after that, I actually doused onto the drawing new white lines. So there's a lot of dowsing in that work and a lot of Emma Kunz's process in that painting. Even the colors that were chosen for the painting were doused. You can easily put a row of colored pencils or paints up and ask the pendulum to point to which color to use. So you can really do a painting or drawing beginning to end using dowsing. What I feel a painting to be is a representation of the artistic energies of Emma Kunz and myself meeting and having a conversation and finding confluence that was sort of the lifting off point of many other works that I am doing now. I'm very thankful to the Beaverbrook Art Gallery for including this piece in the catalog and the show, because the whole exhibit I felt was this meeting of polarities. You saw so many things that were so contrasting, but there was this invisible thread connecting them. And I felt like that's very much a reflection of New Brunswick, because at New Brunswick we have a lot of different polarity. We have a lot of different ways of seeing value or of seeing the way things are. And I'm really proud of us for slowly working to peace. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. And I see that exhibit as being about that. And sometimes if we see it in an art form, even if it's abstract, I believe it speaks to our subconscious and makes slow changes to the way we behave and treat others that can create peace. I wanted to read a section out of the catalog. It's on page 7, and that is the page that includes a print of my artwork, and it's an introduction by Tom Smart. And I just want to read a few words of this because I feel like it really gets at what I'm saying about polarity and, trying to find that connection between different energies. When my research for this exhibition began, I had the opportunity to look closely at 2 works of art Mary McCain made as a university student. One was a fine, intricately crafted ring, and the other was a decorative piece of furniture that included delicate pattern and size in leather. What struck me initially was that these objects reflected a creative sensibility that found expressive agents in different materials. In shaping and using these materials, Mary McCain was attuned to exploring their properties and potentials as artistic media. Materiality was an important artistic stimulus for McCain. Things and matter inspired her, propelling her to follow the paths that opened up as she formed and combined materials when creating new meaning through art. What soon became apparent to me was that by combining different materials, she opened up new ways for me to view art and the world around me. The objects she created, while having a purpose as jewelry and furniture, were not limited to their functionality. The unique juxtapositions of form, matter, and media changed my perceptions. Through viewing Mary McCain's creative expression, I came away with an impression that the interaction of materials provides us with an expansive visual poetry, containing new ways to think about the world we live in. McCain reminded me that art has the capacity to arrange the ways we view the world. An exhibition like this exists in a symbolic relationship with the most important questions in society. The act of viewing provides a lens to explore these issues, while at the same time being informed by these very same issues. My experience of Mary McCain's art informs this exhibition. The works have been chosen from among the many submissions we received and augmented by selections I made from studios. My purpose, prompted by her example, is to explore how material conversations affect our perceptions and how we might manage to discover coherence in an arrangement of artistic objects in an art gallery. So again, coherence and juxtapositions, creating a sort of conversation and new ways of thinking through the juxtaposition of polarity.
Like and subscribe at Art is the Healer, and check out my artwork at deannamusgrave.com. Special thanks to Tom Smart for including my work in this exhibition, and to the staff at the Beaverbrook Art Gallery for supporting my work.